everybody, and all of you ready for the Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
All ready to hear or all ready to go?
Ready to go.
Here.
Ready to go, Mataji.
Ready to go. Acha, okay. So we are ready to only
Take
talk
off.
here. Ashtanga Yoga is beyond our reach. So let's anyway start and continue our journey. Before that, let's pray our obeisances and start off with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanattimurandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadatikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanat Pavanebhyo Vasudebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivachadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, we can start, right? Hare Krishna. Okay. So let's start. So a quick recap, and before that, let's pay our obeisances to Shishirada Govinda. So this is the process expected. You go to a forest, right? And now we start. We already saw the 5th chapter and the 3 doers. So quickly, who is the actual doer?
Ourselves.
Ourselves. Perfect, Prabhu. So our soul. So now we just discussed of the 6th, the first 2.5 chapters. So the first session, we are talking about advancing in yoga, which talks about neshkama, even in case of, Ashtanga yoga or Dhyana yoga, it tells that do not renunciate work initially. So the running away, which we saw in the 3rd chapter from the existing or the present situation, is not recommended even in Ashtanga yoga. He says at the initial stage, you will only be, that is the yogarudha. Yogarudha is later, but then initially, you are not going to give up work. Only at the yogarudha stage, you give up work and do, right? So yogarukshu is your starting stage and you will continue to be working. And also we saw a couple of things, right? You are also seeing, this is what we saw, doers. And then we also saw the concept of how you will focus on what and what are the processes which are taken. Also quickly, we saw this very important thing where karma kanta is 0 step, which is more like an animalistic platform because you just do everything for yourself, right? And focus prior to that or at that stage is just eating, sleeping, mating and defending. And karma yoga is when yoga actually is coming from the word yuj, which connects from you with Krishna, with the, it's called the connection, right? And Ashtanga yoga, which means Ashta Anga yoga, 8-limbed connection. So, and then Dhyana yoga talks about giving up the, they not only renounce foods, but they also speculate. They speculate and therefore their focus is to reach the Brahma, and where in Jnana yoga, they use intelligence. Ashtanga yoga mainly focuses on the mind and focus on the Paramatma feature. The object is maybe Krishna at the start, but their objective is largely to reach the Brahma Jyoti and mainly the Siddhic powers and what they can do. Again, it is materialistic, and the highest of all is Bhakti Yoga, which is very clearly told by Krishna at every level, even at the beginning of the 5th chapter. And the entire 6th chapter is for special set of people who still feel that, I want to take that way. So he is given that also. And as we said, right, the yogi will initially not give up work and later he does, right? So yogarudha. So the yogarudha stage, which is the initial stage, you start working, and later, and what is it called? The initial stage, which is a neophyte stage, is called the yoga rurukshu. Remember this because this will be in the questions as well, right? So it's called the yoga rurukshu. And then once you become an expert, you become a yoga rudha. At that stage, you can focus completely as a full-time job, right? So you can give up. So we were contemplating whether mind is an enemy or a friend, and we had mixed views. And as of today, all of you, come on, mind is an enemy or a friend in the current situation? Enemy. Okay, I'm glad you are all listening. Yeah. So we have enemy, and we are living with that enemy. My God, 24/7. That's so difficult, right? And, so this is a very, very important thing. So among friends, there are 3 categories. Prabhupada audio very clearly he discusses this, right? You all know Bandhu, because Bandhu is one category. Another one is Mitra. These two will be very clear for both. And Sukrin, this comes very often, right? So he is someone who is your well-wisher, right? So he's always there for you, and that's Krishna, which comes in 5.29 as well. Now this one, further stages, talks about the process, right? And different types of yoga, which so-called, but not really. And we quickly saw Yama, which is the external discipline. I'm going to ask you, why am I telling Yama? So what is Yama?
Yama is the
steps. What are the 8-fold steps of yoga?
Yama.
Yama is Niyama,
Asana,
Pranayama,
Pratyahara,
Dharana,
Samadhi.
Dhyana and Samadhi. Dhyana, Samadhi.
Hare Krishna. So that's nice. So now what is Yama? Now the names have come, but this has content also.
Yes, controlling like external disciplines.
Social discipline.
Like senses disciplines. We need to control our senses.
Krishna.
External disciplines.
Okay, external discipline. Okay, and one more. Okay, asana, which is external discipline, which is internal. Yama
Asana
is external, which is internal.
Yama is external, right?
You can confidently tell. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, external. Yama means external.
Perfect. And then from here, you all will know. This is very familiar. So Yama and Niyama is something which in yoga classes also, they don't start. They start with asana, right? And mostly the focus is on asana and pranayama.
Yes, Mataji.
Yoga experts. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Correct, right? So we have our Sham Prabhu and Arun Prabhu who can actually vouch. And then what do we do in Pratyahara?
It's a withdrawal of our senses.
Yeah. And Dharana?
Concentration.
Concentration.
And Dhyana?
Meditation.
Meditative observation.
Yes.
On Krishna.
In Dharana, you will just get flashes of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he's in Samadhi stage, but then there are cases where he used to run until I saw Krishna and, he disappeared. So this is Dharana, and Dhyana, you constantly have a tendency to see. And final state Samadhi, what happens?
Nothing
with the Lord.
Yes, right. So this is an amazing stage where Rupa Goswami, back to a story, a very quick story. In Samadhi, Rupa Goswami actually was meditating. Of course, they are part of Bhakti. We always say Bhakti inculcates all of it, right? So Rupa Goswami was actually praying and not praying, he was in Samadhi state. And he was relishing the pastimes of Krishna and Radharani. And imagine if you have, you see Krishna, you're so excited, and you see the pastime. And the pastime he saw was that, Radharani and Krishna both were having a conversation, and she was trying to pluck something from the tree. And obviously she was shot. And then what was happening is like Krishna helped. And in a conflict over there, so Krishna left her hanging there. Okay, so he left her hanging. He said, okay, you hang. And she was so scared, right? She was holding on to the tree, and you know how the situation is. And, and he is laughing, and Rupa Goswami, she just could not resist that. And he started laughing, right? He is relishing. So this is like a live show. Just imagine you're there, sitting in a chair, and then you are able to see the Goloka Vrindavan and every single thing in Goloka Vrindavan, right? You just can't resist. And he started blushing. At that time, there was another Brahmana who went by who was limping. And he thought that Rupa Goswami was possibly laughing at him. Sometimes people do make mockery of people who are challenged or whatever, right? And he just went. And Rupa Goswami never noticed him also, because imagine if you have a pastime of Krishna and Radha Rami, what we'll think? We'll not even think of our neighbor. No, why would you think of a stranger? Then suddenly, that flash went off, right? He never got it back. He was like constantly, it's like, for those who love movie or sports can understand. Just imagine if there is a power breakout in the middle and your generator doesn't work. Oh my God, that's that way. And it is so difficult for him, and he didn't understand. And later when he went and checked with the spiritual master, he told him that maybe you offended a Brahmana, right? And so he said, how will I even know who? So he said, do one thing, invite everybody for lunch, and the Brahmin who does not come in the village is a person who's offended. So he called everyone, and this person didn't come, and he went and asked what happened. And he said, when I was walking and you made mockery of me. He said, no, definitely not. I didn't intend. And he really apologized. And after that, it all settled, and then he went back into his samadhi or trance. So why we are saying is, even for such exalted devotees, Vaishnava avatar, or offending a Brahmana. When I say Brahmana, it's not Brahmin by birth. Many times people get confused. It's only genuinely a person who is very much having the Brahminical qualities. A person who is born in a Brahmin family and behaves like Ashwatthama is called a Dvija Bandhu, right? So that's the story. And now back to our Ashtanga Yoga. We have to go back to Himalaya. We went to now Goloka Vrindavan. So now back to Himalaya. We already saw all this. So you live alone, secluded place, do's, don'ts, right? So we saw all that. And then we are talking about the Kusha grass and specific height, straight, focus on the nose. Not very interesting. No, nose hand also will be interesting. Especially women, we can start watching our nails, nail polish. We can do anything, right? So they have told, focus only on the nose. So what we'll see. No fully closing, we'll sleep off. Like some of you here are, slightly dozing off, right? Like that, if we close our eyes, we'll doze off completely. Hare Krishna. And Samadhi is the unshaken faith, like complete faith, right? We saw. Of course, Dharana is meditation, and Dhyana is where it's fixed, right? It's not Krishna occasionally appears, it's clear. So we sort of left here, and this we know very well, and we just revised at the beginning. And so he says very clearly, eating also is very, very important, and you have to regulate, right? So I think we have to start from here. Is that right? Hare Krishna. So we have anybody to read? You can have your hand raised, and you can obviously, it's always unmute. You can unmute and take turns. Hare Krishna. Natyas natastu yogavoshti nachaikantam anasnatah nachapti swapna salasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So nobody to read? Yes, Mrinal. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes. I can't. Yeah. Please go ahead.
The possibility of once becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not. Sorry, Mataji.
Does not sleep enough. So we saw that, right? I told nectar of instruction. The first one starts like that. Pacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jigva vegam, udaro prashta vegam, etan vegan, vishesa dhiraha, sarvam apiman prativim sapranshishya. So what does it mean? Dhira, a sober person, means that he has to regulate all this, right? The 6 urges of the body and the mind he has to control. And 6.24, Prabhu, you can read. Hare Krishna.
One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviate from the path. One should abandon without exception, all material desires born of mental speculations and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind.
Right. So very clearly, what is he saying? He has to practice yoga with determination. Faith is very important, right? We saw already. Shraddha is the most important thing, and you should do it without any deviation, unflinching faith, right? Completely, and you should completely abandon material. So yesterday in the class, someone was asking, why not we do both? You will do both, but you can't be in both, right? You can't say that you can't mentally be in both at least, right? So you can be physically in one place and mentally in another place. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be physically in material world, but our presence is already started off mentally in spiritual world. So there was one devotee who was asking me, then why not, like you have Yudhishthira, you have Janaka Maharaj, all of them, right? Yes, they were all there, but they were not involved. I have money, they were rich. Krishna conscience is not about being rich or poor, because Krishna does not make someone poor. Right? Krishna says, boss, you can have everything, because if you are focusing so much on the spiritual world, I will take care of you and I will give you luxury in the material world. This does not mean that I will take the luxury and sit and sleep. I am going to sit and sleep. No, I'm not going to sit and sleep. I am going to sit and do Krishna conscious practice so that it will give me the comfort and not waste my time running around. See, today, all of us here, we are all at the luxury of we are all working, that's different, but we are not at desperation that we have to, at 6 o'clock, go and plow a land or, wash a vessel in somebody's house or do a work which does not even give us the luxury to sit and chat for 1 hour of Krishna conscious. Right, so we are all in a better off position to the extent that we can afford this 1.5 hours in the morning. In case we are completely not having a next meal, our focus will probably be in running around and making a meal, right? So therefore, Krishna conscious is not about rich or poor. You will have all the opulences. If you see Bhagavatam, you'll see all of them, right? Starting from Parikshit or Dhruva, even at that age, at 5, because these are the youngest devotees, they're very rich. They were not short of cash. And you take the oldest, Bhishma Pitama, he was a very hardcore devotee. So every single person was a hardcore devotee. So it's not about money, it's about the mind, right? 6.25, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction. And thus, the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
So very clearly, okay, should be think on the self means not myself. Okay, please remember, self is very interchangeably used in Bhagavad Gita. And the self here denotes Krishna. So the mind will completely be fixed in Krishna. And therefore, you will be devoid of anything. And 6.26, Hare Krishna.
From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
Hare Krishna. From wherever the mind wanders due to flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw, right? So where is it? So the mind, it is wandering, right? And flickering, chanchala. Chanchala means it's so confused, right? So even it's because mind is like that, right? Don't we do that? We do japa, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh my God, milk is boiling. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, we have school. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh, I have work today. I have to start early. Hare Rama. Isn't the mind like that? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so
Yes,
much for being so
Mataji.
honest. Right, so mind is so confused now with the we are engaging 3 senses. We are talking, we are hearing, we are doing. We are actually engaging even our sense of touch by doing the japa. If there is more than one sense engaged itself, it's called meditation. Now we are engaging 3 senses, but still we are so powerful in diversion. So who's so powerful? Mind. So mind, for all those who said mind is a friend, I would say yes, if you are able to chant 108, one mala completely without even one time getting distracted, then mind is a friend, because all of us aim that, right? Don't we aim? All of us aim that one moment also we should not be distracted. Yes or no?
Yes,
Then
that's
are we
right.
not
Mataji.
getting, so then are we not getting distracted? Yes, right? So that means that is not our friend. It is working against us. It is sitting right inside us and it's working against us, right? So we can't tolerate a friend who's hitting us in the front, and we just can't even think of a person who's trying to backstab us. Now, this one, what it is doing? It is stabbing us from all sides, sitting inside us, right? Such a horrible mind, right? So if you think deep, right? It's better to get the mind quickly as your friend. Otherwise, you're actually dealing 24/7 and rest of your life with an enemy inside you. That's even worse. Hey, Krishna. So let's. Yes, Prabhu, 6.27. Hare Krishna.
6.27. Yeah.
On the left.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mood of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds.
So very clearly, right? So he says a yogi whose mind is fixed on me. So he is giving, can you see, he is bringing in bhakti even there. So even in Ashtanga Yoga, he's saying somebody who's fixed on me. So doing in yoga, and you call a yoga day and you do not have Krishna, then it's not yoga, because what are you connecting with? See, everything is about relationship. You have to connect, right? We already saw running away from the current is not about yoga. So we have to have a purpose, right? And that purpose, very clearly, Krishna is telling. Sadhu Shastra is very important, right? And Sadhu and Shastra both tells that the highest perfection is if you think of me beyond the mode of passion, right? Which means that you are, you'll automatically be at that level, and he is therefore qualitatively, which means Krishna has 100% qualities and Brahma has 78%. We can not come 100%, but you can have 78% of the qualities of Krishna. How? If you take the sea, sea is like Vibhu, right? So huge. But if I take a small glass of water, right, and come to the house and do a research in that water, the water content of salt is going to be the same. So quality of the salt is same, right? But quantity is different. And you, if your child is asking you, I want to go to the beach, and you go pick up that water and tell, hey, it's the same water. I'm going to pour it for you in a bowl. You can put your leg, and this is beach. Hey, what will she tell? She'll tell, are you crazy? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Unless you have some child who is so convinced that with a glass of seawater, she says, okay, Mama, Dada, thank you so much. I will rejoice. Do we have any of you all have such a child? Because I don't.
No. Definitely no.
No, Mataji.
No. So that is the situation. Why are we telling this is because that even a small child knows, right? So the quantity is very important, just not the quality. So therefore, Krishna conscious is about Krishna is Vibhu. For all those we are going to read in the 8th chapter. We are also going to read in the 7th chapter, the primary people, 4 people who are neophytes who love Krishna, and 4 people who are non-believers of Krishna, and also someone in between. That category we'll get to learn in the 9th chapter actually. Between 7th and 9th, we will learn, we'll know about a lot of these characters. So why are we saying, and one category of that is that I will become Krishna after I die. How will you ever become Krishna? So even if you bring huge lorries of the sea water, it's not going to be sea, right? So that's the thing. So the closest we can get is 78%. And because we are Jiva Tattva, and Krishna is very different, right? He is the absolute. And come on, 6.28, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thus, the self-control yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord.
So he is finally focusing on Krishna, and his object and objective also is different at the end. And therefore Krishna starts loving him, right? And takes him there. So that is what he is now going to conclude also. Yeah.
A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
Yeah, so this is the Mahatma. We saw the quality. So now if you are telling that, hey, I am a big devotee, but I don't even care, right? You have a lot of people who say that I am a hardcore devotee, but I do not like to touch you because you are whatever. You may be a Sudra or a Chandala, or I'm not really talking about touching, but I'm just talking about in any sense you don't interact. Though, then what kind of a person, right? The person is not seeing Paramatma. So if there are any pet lovers in this class, are there any pet lovers here in this class? Did I ask some wrong question? I just asked if there are any pet lovers, cat, dogs. Nobody likes pets. So then I'm scared.
I like pets. Mataji.
Acha, thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. So thank you so much, Mataji. So why am I taking this topic is many of them say, right? I mean, being scared of a pet is different, but many of them, even tell. So I had a devotee who actually told that, they do not like to touch a dog. And I don't know the reason. Of course, I may not also go and touch a dog because I'm scared it will bite, but that's a different story. And she said, even that dog is in the house, I don't touch because, and not only me, my family, my husband and all things, touching a dog is not there, but the same Paramatma stakes. How do you know that you are not a dog? And obviously you would have been an animal, right? And you would also be an animal, possibly, right? I'm not saying you would, but there's a high probability. So trying to do that is not the right thing. And she also told that, I make the dog vegetarian. I make the point only to give curd rice to my dog. Fine, but what you have to do is, this is one extreme. And I know a devotee who says, I will always take what, after giving to Krishna. So I take a cup of coffee and I give to Krishna and take, right? That's also, so these are two extremes. So Krishna has given a menu for himself. So, and that's a menu applicable for him and for us. Right? Because we are in the human life, which means we are blessing in disguise. That means we can go close to Krishna. We have a possibility of reaching Krishna conscious. Therefore, we will take prasad. We get sanctified because we are bound by sins. But a dog or a cat does not come under the territory of sins. And you may ask, Mataji, not fair. Dog also should be coming. Fine. You are in the road. And if there is a red light and you cross, you are going to be fined. And you see every dog and cat walking. Is a cat or a dog going to be imprisoned or fined? Yes or no?
No, Mataji.
Right. So why am I saying this is because understanding is different, right? I can't run and go and take a class for 100 dogs or 100 cats. That makes a difference at the conscious level. But that does not make a difference that Paramatma is not existing because you don't like it. And coming to the other example of giving a curd rice to a dog, even scientifically, or spiritually, either way is nowhere Krishna says you have to give a lion a curd rice or a tiger a curd rice, because they are designed. The animal is designed with the teeth, with the body, and even scientifically they say if you give a curd rice alone, the dog gets diabetes, right? So that's also a sin, because you are supposed to take care of your child, and so are you supposed to take care of the animals. It's very clearly given in Bhagavatam, because they all come under the dependence. Right? A cow, a Brahmana is to be protected, is the duty of Kshatriya and a Vaishya. So is you. If you are having a pet, you are supposed to take care of the pet. I'm not saying that you have to take care, therefore you serve the food in the dining table. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you give what is required, right? You don't put the dog in a starvation. So I used to have my aunt, and she used to have this dog. And we were very small then, and obviously we didn't have problem. And she used to tie this dog fine, and it was a Pomeranian, and it used to be in the hot sun for so long, right? Is that the right way of doing it? I mean, we used to tell it's so uncomfortable, but we never could fight because we were all really small, and she wouldn't listen either. But this is also very sinful. Don't have if you can't maintain. So it's like also like a child, right? There was a mother, which is an exception, who we've read, right, who was so engrossed in shopping that she left the kid in the car in one of the countries, and it was hot, and when she came back, the child was dead, right? So these are people who are not fit to be parents, and if that's the case, then don't take custody of the animal also. And why am I bringing the concept of animal here? Is many times, people have this habit that, kicking an animal, or even cat, they say that a black cat is not good. Yes, earlier they said because there were no power, and they were scared that if the cats walk, especially the black cat, you would step into it. So when you say as a scientific reason, those days people never used to believe. So they used to bring spirituality, right? And today you tell the same spirituality without having any reason. People call you stupid, and the children will call us stupid because we don't give a genuine reason. We don't give an explanation, right? If you are understanding, and I think Here, whoever are there are either mothers or fathers, or to be mothers and fathers. The main purpose of Shastra is not only to guide you, but you are going to be a teacher, a role model. We saw in the 3rd chapter, Yad Yad Acharadi Sheshas Tat Tat Eve Tanojuna Sayat Pramanam Kurte Lokas Tat Anuvartate, means what? You are a role model. May not be like Tata Birla representing millions of people, may not be, but don't be a wrong example, right? Hitler also is a vegetarian. And can you tell, oh, Hitler is great. So Krishna conscious is not about vegetarianism. It's about Krishnatarianism. So we take what Krishna likes, right? So for that matter, a monkey is also a vegetarian. So if you're trying to compare, yourself with a vegetarianism is great. Yes, vegetarianism is great, but that is not just enough, right? So that is the point which Krishna is trying to highlight. And why am I saying this is, if you do not differentiate, or if you are, if you do not see Paramatma is there in everything, and if you insult, can you see the story I told about Rupa Goswami? Even unknowingly he did it, right? And he had to seek forgiveness. So that is the power of devotee, because Krishna can tolerate any insult against him, but he can never tolerate an insult against a devotee. All the kathas, if you see, all Krishna's pastimes, not once has he punished anyone because they insulted Krishna, right? He has punished only when his devotees, including Shishupal. Shishupal 100 times he told, but the words he spoke was just not about Krishna. It insulted every single person, including Draupadi. He just couldn't take it, right? So that's the point. He can never tolerate the thing, and that's applicable for us, right? Isn't it applicable for us? If somebody is going to talk bad about our child, do we tolerate that? Yes or no? Tell me one mother and father who says, hey, bad about my child, I love it. Any mother or father?
No,
right?
No,
even if the child is bad, even if we know, we put up with them, but we don't take it, right? By heart, we are feeling, we are like literally bleeding. It hurts us, right? So that is what is Krishna also. We are children of Krishna, and when a devotee is directly are under the protection of Krishna. So we have a problem with the child, take it with Krishna. Tell Krishna, I don't like your child behavior. You go correct it. Nothing wrong. But you don't have to fight with the child and do anything, right? Hare Krishna. On to a true devotee. We saw that, right? Self and 6.29. So that is an important thing. Now, this is so small. 6.30. Mrinal Prabhu, I think you're young. You can go ahead and read the 6.30. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. For one.
Or anybody can read. Mataji's, Prabhu's.
Okay, madam.
I'll read. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, your audio is very less. You can just increase, but I could hear it. So if I am one who sees me everywhere, and I am never lost, nor is he lost. So he can never forget. He says permanently this person is going to be with me. There is no way, this person is lost, right? Because he's always transcendental. And he is going to be perfectly with me all the time. So he's giving this guarantee. Krishna is saying that at any point in time, this person will never be lost. And this is a specialty because he is always within me, right? And I am within him. So therefore, it will never be lost. And also on to the 6.31, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remain always in me in all circumstances.
So somebody who understands that who's what? Who is Krishna himself and the super soul are one. So this is Brahma Vimoda Leela, where right, Brahma test. Anybody knows the story of Brahma's story?
I think this is where he abducts all his friends and
yes, Mataji. So tell from the beginning so that everybody can hear. And if you're going to switch on the video, I can put you on spotlight. Or if you're not having a makeup, I'm okay. I can only.
I don't wear makeup, but
no, I'm just pulling you. I tell this even to the boys. So.
Okay. So this happens in where I forgot the name of the place where he grew up. So he has all these friends, all his friends and all his calves. They always together. So Brahma once would want to test him. I mean, I think someone tells Brahma that Krishna is the greatest and all that stuff. So he wants to test him. He abducts all his friends, including the cows and calves. So Krishna does not want his parents. I think I'm okay. He does not want to upset his friends' parents and all his other devotees. So he takes the form of every person and an animal. And everyone goes back in their original meaning, as a friend or the cow or the calf. So during that time, everyone is very, very happy in, is that Vrindavan? Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's Vrindavan.
Then Brahma realizes his mistake, because there is no one upset in Vrindavan. Everyone is happy going on with their usual work. Then he realizes, okay, he's the supreme power. He comes and apologizes to Krishna. So I think this is the story. I've told it correctly.
Yeah, no, perfect. Thank you so much, Mataji. So nicely you're telling the story. And you look very nice. I'm getting to see you for the first time. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so I'm going to spotlight me again so that I can do the presentation. Thank you so much. And yes, as Mataji correctly told, right? So what is the speciality of that particular story is that why did Brahma come? So Brahma actually wanted to see Krishna. And when he came, this Krishna, our Krishna, he was expecting, we have this expectation. Okay, this guy is a CEO. So he should be like this. And, to start with, so Brahma comes, and lands up. And what did he do? He wanted to see this, two-handed form of Krishna, because this two-handed form of Krishna is very rare. And we are going to get to know this in chapter 11, right? And what is he going to do is he comes there. And that time there is a pastime going on, like how Mataji told, these gopas and gopis are all sitting together. And what is happening is we're all sitting together and having a lot of fun. And in the fun process, at that time, exactly, they share the food. We also go and eat and all that. So that is the point, right? So, Brahmins don't even share food because they feel it's not, right now, nobody shares food because of COVID, but generally, right? So Brahma comes and he sees, and at that time what happens is Krishna has got this friend who is very poor, and he is not uncomfortable sharing, but he manages to get only a curd which is 3-day-old, very sour, and therefore he doesn't want to share it with Krishna. So he just pretends that he got something, at the same time he doesn't want to give to Krishna. And when Krishna is coming, he's like taking a mouthful of this buttermilk, okay, with mouth all over. When we are small, we used to do that. And Krishna is so angry, the childish anger. And he comes to him telling that you're not sharing with me. And he correctly does this. And the buttermilk just spills all over. And that is when our Brahma enters and he is just zapped. Can you imagine, literally from the devotee's mouth all over the face? Because these people are not normal people. Otherwise, they won't be along with Krishna. They've been playing with Krishna. So these are Gopas. They are from Goloka Vrindavan. Not here, but they are from, Vaikuntha, Goloka Vrindavan there. And they all come as a unit. And that when Brahma saw, he was convinced that this cannot be supreme. Imagine, will Supreme Personality of Godhead will maintain the distance, like how in Vaikuntha, right? So Jagannath temple had this culture where everybody will go and hug him. Now it stopped because of security reasons, but then anybody could go hug him. You can't do that. Even in Vaikuntha, if you see, the Shanta Ras, the Dasya Ras is predominant, right? Like, for example, Venkatesh Perumal or Parsadi temple is very high. But then what is the relationship? You go and pray God. You go look at the feet of the God, right? You don't have the 5 rasas which are there. So imagine Brahma is in that mindset and he is just not able to take it. And he thinks, oh, this boy cannot be the Supreme Personality of God, and I'm going to test. And he at once kidnaps all the kids for just 1 second, which is equal to our 1 year, right? And takes them, goes into hibernation, and Krishna just gets scared. Now you may ask, why is Krishna getting scared? He knows, yes, but Krishna is also enjoying the pastime, right? So these Leela Shaktis, each Shakti has a power, right? So this is a Leela Shakti, and gives him that 1 second of that Yoga Maya, right? 1 second, okay, you forget this for a second, then he remembers. So what he does is he expands himself into everything, as Mataji said so beautifully, she was narrating. So many, not just the kids, but also as the animals and even the jewelry in the animal. And when they go back, they are 1 year with the mother, father, everybody loves, including the cow loves, because why Krishna has come, right? They don't realize, but they know. And that day Balram doesn't come and he's seen, what is it? Everybody is so fond. What is this big fan club for their own kids? Unusual love. And then he realizes, oh, Krishna, that's you, right? So this brings 2 points. One point is two-handed form of Krishna is so rare. And second, he taught this lesson when Brahma, he saw expansion, he really apologized. Right, and this is in Krishna Kada. This is in the stories. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is in Veda base. I will just show you. Just remind me. I'll show you at the end because the presentation slide is gone away from me now. So that's so beautiful. This story you should read because I really relished this story. And many can blame. Hey, how bad of Brahma? Yeah, and if it was like us, what we punish? That is the difference, right? Krishna purifies. That is the speciality. He does not punish, but he purifies the person. And he purified Brahma and made him, and that is when Brahma Samhita came. And he starts with the first sloka, Hare Krishna. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam, which means that you are the Ishvara of all and you're the beginning, you're the ultimate. And he declares. So this Leela is one of the best pastimes, and he is telling, right? So that so remains always in me. So such a person remains. So this is the picture of that, right? All expansions are him. Mataji or Prabhu, one of you can read 6.32. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the truth, equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna.
Bhagavad Gita 6.32. So he says that by, he compares himself and sees true equality of all beings, right? Whether he's in good feeling or bad feeling, he always sees equality with everybody. There is absolutely nothing. A devotee never thinks he's great. A devotee always thinks there is somebody else who's better than him. So that is the most important thing. Section 4, now we are going to section 3.3 to 3.36, necessity to control the turbulent mind. Although control of mind is undoubtedly a difficult process, nevertheless, control of mind is essential and obtainable only by constant practice and detachment. Look at Krishna, so sweet, right? He says it's possible, and this is why we tell Japa also, it's okay. We have stages of Japa, of this Nam Aparad, is chanting with diversion or not having focus, but what is the correction for Nam Aparad is by continuing the chanting. So you continue chanting. So many of them say, Mataji, I'm not able to focus. Neither am I, right? Neither am I able to focus. And for Prabhupada, it took him 3 years to get into proper focus chanting. So if somebody is so elevated like Prabhupada wanted 3 years, so you can imagine we are okay if you get diverted. What you should not do is don't get into a dreamland. Don't get diverted and encourage that. When you're diverted, bring it back. Bring your mind back. It happens for us, right? When you write your exam, you go somewhere and then tell, oh my God, I have 3 hours, I have to come back. Just the same. And just coming back to Arjuna. And does anyone in this group have a feeling that Arjuna, I'm better than Arjuna? I've asked this question, but I'm asking again because we are going to end the first. Does anyone here feel that I am better than Arjuna?
No, Mataji.
Convinced that Arjuna is better. Is there anybody who feels somebody else is better than Arjuna and Krishna could have shared the story? Please be honest, because this is an understanding class, so there's no right or wrong answer. Right? Is there anyone in the class who feels there's somebody else? You can type in the chat or you can put a direct message also that this person could be a better person Krishna could have chosen rather than Arjuna. Yes, Shyam. Krishna's devotees give preference to beauty of soul. Yes, Mataji?
Sometimes
I don't think anyone.
Karna is
Karna is parallel. Mataji, remember this. I have a story about Karna, which I will tell at the end. It will come also, but I don't want to jump the flow. So that's perfect. Karna. And is there anybody else?
Mataji, you have already told the reason why Krishna.
Yes, but I just want to know, Prabhu. I just want to know if still, because some questions I keep asking again and again. Please bear with me, because why I ask the same question is, you know, the entire team of devotees here, right? I would want to know if I'm not able to reach out to that one person also, because that would make a difference. So I understand about 90% could be convinced in one direction. but there could still be somebody who will, like Ashtanga Yoga, right? There are so many who does not want to do Ashtanga Yoga, but there are still some people. So it's not wrong, but it's good to understand and move on. One is Karna, but if there is somebody else, anybody else?
Parshurama.
Sorry?
Parshurama.
Prabhu, Parsuram is already Krishna only. Parsuram is one of the incarnation of Krishna, right? So Parsuram has actually stayed and lived. He is born in a Brahmin family, but proved as a Kshatriya. And Krishna can't talk to himself. He has to talk to some, because Parshuram is elevated. So if he explains to Vyasa or Narada, what will you tell? You will tell, hey, he's a god and he's explaining to another god, right? You would want equal, right? So I'm not saying Arjuna is equal, but at least Arjuna is, you can relate to Arjuna. We can't relate to Krishna, right? We have a relationship with Krishna, but you can't tell, I am like equal to Krishna. You may tell, okay, Arjuna is very powerful, but he is yet a very powerful person.
Mataji, Sanjay.
Sorry?
Sanjay Mataji.
Sanjaya, you mean. Okay. So we have Sanjaya, we have Karna, and Parshuram, I hope I've answered. Because
Dhritarashtra, Mataji.
Sorry?
Dhritarashtra.
Yudhishthira. Right? Sure. So with these three characters, we will come back at the end. And right now, let's understand about Arjuna, since you all are convinced Arjuna is better than us. Let's see how better. So Arjuna at a very young age went to this person. Who is this person who's teaching Arjuna?
Dronacharya.
Oh, perfect.
Dronacharya.
Right? He is teaching his the practice. And what does he do? He is telling you have to aim at the bird. And Arjuna is asking, okay, what are you seeing? Arjuna says, I can see the eye of the eagle. So his aim is so perfect. And we also saw that he doing, at every time he could see the mirror and shoot the eye of the fish. In Swayamvara also we saw this. And you also saw that Arjuna had been in exile along with the 5 Pandavas, right? I mean, including him, had been in the forest. So he had seen this concept of meditation. He's lived even in the Gurukul. They don't have today, we teach children, all of us. I don't want my child to go through what I've gone through. A. B. I myself have not gone through that. Why should my child go through? These are the 2 common statements which we see. Oh no, okay, you are willing to come to the temple. I will park the car at the entrance. If you are uncomfortable to wear chappal is not allowed, but if you're uncomfortable, you can wear socks inside the temple. I'm not telling wearing a socks inside the temple is wrong, but the child should also get used to everything, right? May not be at a very small stage. I'm not telling at 2 years or 3 years, but at an age, the child should know. If you see, even all the king's children had been to Gurukul. Why? Is it because the kids, they wanted to get rid of the kids? No, they wanted them to learn everything, right? Today, we want everything. We want AC. We want AC even in the bathroom. And can anyone tell who is in this picture? In this picture.
No.
At least one of them in the picture. Let me just switch on the light.
Arjuna and Shiva, Lord Shiva.
One is Arjuna and other one is Shiva. So what is Shiva doing? Shiva is fighting because he came. And does anyone know the name of the weapon Shiva gifted to Arjuna? Because Shiva is so impressed with Arjuna's power, and then he gives him dash, fill in the blank. What does he give? Manjari Balaji Mataji. No, Mataji, only Arjuna was the best person, as he was very devoted to Krishna and could question him to get clarification without the fear of getting rebuked. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Manjari Mataji. Hare Krishna. Does anyone know the name of the weapon? If you don't know, I want you to find and tell me next week.
Paspatastra.
Indu Mataji has also told, Sham Prabhu has also told. It's Patastra. So it is not Gandiva. That is why I brought in this, because many get confused. So got this as the gift, right? So that's his speciality. Attendance Mohandas Prabhu has sent. Please go ahead. And anybody knows who's in this picture? These two. Okay, this is Nara Narayana, right? I've already told Arjuna and Krishna.
Arjuna and Krishna.
Yeah. In the previous birth were Nara Narayana, and they were the twins. And Nara is Arjuna and Narayana is Krishna. So they are eternal associates, not just once. Right? And on to 6.33, Hare Krishna. Arjuna vacha yoyam yogastvaya prokta samyenam madhusudana etasyaham na pasyami chanchalatvat stitam stiramam. Hare Krishna.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
So Krishna is telling, hey, whatever you're telling, I'm backing off. Now Arun and Shyam Prabhu also backed off, right? We saw at, I don't know about Arun, Shyam Prabhu backed off. Arun, are you backing off or you still want to do Ashtanga Yoga? Isn't Arun here?
Backing off, Mataji.
Huh?
I'm also backing off, yeah.
You're also backing off, very sweet. So Arjuna is also backing off. He's telling, no, forget it, I can't do. So now why did I talk about Arjuna so much is definitely since all of us agreed that Arjuna is the most powerful and he has a pre-experience of Gurukul and all that, which we do not have. Maybe you guys probably would have gone for trekking. That's for one day. And after that also we are flat, right? So then you can imagine, right? If Arjuna can't do, then it's going to be very difficult for us to do. And however, Krishna very seriously doesn't demotivate. Look at him so sweetly. He says, yes, although control of mind is undoubtedly difficult, you still can do. That's a specialty. He keeps encouraging Arjuna all through. That is a specialty. Let's still continue. Hare Krishna. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Brahmati balavadridam tasyaham nikraham anye vayuriva dushkaram.
The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
So he's very clearly telling, I can even control the wind, 6.34, but I can't control the mind. Right? So that's what he's saying. We can control the wind if there is fan or AC. That's which we can switch off. That's all we can do. But Krishna is Arjuna is talking about the real wind. The mind is more difficult to control than the wind. Sorry for the spelling. It's not than the wind. And 6.35. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asam Shayam Mahabhaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagena cha Krityate. Hare Krishna.
Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
So beautifully he's telling, yeah, correct Arjuna, you can't do, just forget it. He doesn't say, we say that, right? When they come and tell, hey, it's very difficult, don't do. Mama, I tried, it's so difficult. Yeah, I told you that time itself, na? It's not possible. Chhod do, no? Leave it, na? Yes or no? Touch your heart, boys, girls, come on. We say that, right? Sometimes we do tell that. But look at Arjuna, Krishna, he says, no, it is difficult, no doubt, right? But it is not impossible. You can do, it's possible. It's abhyasa and vairagya. Vairagya means you can, you have that determination to do. You will be able to do that. It is possible. And by constant practice, right, you will be able to do determination, practice, which you can control the mind, right? He says, and with detachment, you will be able to. Krishna's opinion, for one whose mind is unbrittled, self-realized is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. It's difficult. Even doing chanting 108 times undivided is difficult. But the stage when we achieve is trying to be very successful. That stage we will be able to realize. So trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Right? Very beautiful shloka 6.39 for all those who have this doubt, which we just started. Similarly, yoga practice without mind control is a waste of time. And this is specifically for, I think, the devotee, I should have showed this. I mean, you can't do both. It's just not going to work. And it's also like some very simple example is you have a stone and you have a hammer, and the stone is very heavy. You have to put the stone down and take the hammer to break it. You can't carry both, right? So that's the point, even if you have two hands. So that's the point. Now, 5 is a very beautiful session. We have 2 more, but we'll finish. Destination of an unsuccessful yogi. one beautiful thing is always Krishna tells A and B, plan A, plan B. And the plan A is successful yogi, and plan B is what if you fail? So he says, successfully transcendental is obtained heavenly enjoyment, followed by aristocratic family or birth and transcendence. What is it? It's so confusing, right? So there is a level of success and level of failure, right? So he is telling, 90% success, 80% success, 100% success is what is required for spiritual world, not even 99. So if you're going with 100% success to spiritual world, it's fine. But if you are failing, right? Although he begins a process of self-realization with faith, he later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism. What happens? Right? Suddenly something stops him, right? He is explaining this very beautifully here. Prabhu, please read 6.38. Hare Krishna.
6.38.
This one. O mighty armed Krishna.
Yeah. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere?
Very clearly says, so does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success, right? So if somebody, see, there's something like this. This is a very beautiful question. Arjuna is so sweet, if you notice. Every time, see, he's decided he does not want Ashtanga Yoga, he gave up. He could have just walked, right? But he is asking questions. So the whole thing is not that Arjuna is close or he is representing us. He is representing. He is so sweet. He's asking questions because he's concerned about the other. That's a compassion of the yogis. That's a compassion of devotees. They are not happy just they being successful. They want to see and try if somebody else can also be successful. Okay. So why are we telling this? Is because Arjuna is asking continuously questions. So he's saying that what happens if all his efforts goes fruitless? I earn a 10 crore bank balance. In your next birth, how much of this bank balance gets carried forward? Matajis and Prabhus, can you tell me how much of your houses and bank balance gets carried forward? No fighting, please.
Zero, madam. Zero, zero.
Yes.
None.
Yes. So you don't have a
None,
single penny
Mataji.
getting carried forward. Whereas here
Zero.
in Krishna conscious, is so special. The entire 100% gets carried forward. Entire 100%. So that is the speciality, whatever you do. So if you do 20%, the entire 20% gets carried forward. If you do 100%, you're not here, you're in spiritual world. So everything. So that is what Krishna is explaining, right? And go ahead, he explains this further. 6.39. We can't hear you. You'll have to unmute. This is Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So nice, right? That is why Madhusudana came. If you see, every time he tells this, here he considers all this ignorance as demons, and he's taking the help. Like, you have been a killer of Madhu, so kill this also, is what he's telling. Mataji, why don't one Mataji read the 6.40? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, son of a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
So very clearly, O Supreme Personality of Godhead said, oh, son of Partha, the transcendentalists engaged in this auspicious activity does not meet with destruction even in this world or in the spiritual world. Because here, there is never, because my friend is never overcome by evil. Evil can never attack the person. The moment you chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Yamaraja will shortlist, he will say, get out, no entry here. So powerful, one time, right? So Sri Bhagavan Vacha Pata Naiveha Namutra Vinashastasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschit Durgatim Taha Gacchati. Hare Krishna. So we are very important part and Unsuccessful Yogi, which constantly is the question. If time permits, I'll tell you the story at the end. And can you tell me, chat is open, you can type, who is this in the palanquin and who's carrying it? If you can just type. And let me read this. Pious birth into a good family revives the divine consciousness in early stage of life naturally attracted to yogic principles. So he is talking about two categories of unsuccessful yogi. This is the category 1 and the category 2. Yes, Mataji, you can read this one.
The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy.
So an unsuccessful yogi, after many earths, right, is born in the planets of pious living, is born in the family of righteous people, or in the family. So what does it mean? Family of pious means a transcendental family. Example, Prabhupada, right? A Brahmana family. And the picture I showed earlier, Mohandas partially right, Bharata, but Bharat, one of the birth of Bharat, and it's called Jada Bharata, right? So we all saw Bharat Maharaj was born as a deer because he thought of a deer, and when he gave up life, again as a deer through natural course, he was born as Jada Bharata and was born in a Brahmana family. And he remembered the past, right? So there are few people who remember the past births, very rare, but few. So you can, chat is open, so keep typing as I'm explaining this and we'll discuss at the end. So very clearly, and 6.42 Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world.
This is very rare. This is like your 90% you've achieved. What happens? This is why I gave the example of Prabhupada. He is born among the very rich, no, not by money, but by rich, spiritual health. Right? Spiritual wealth is so rich, right? In a transcendental family, because even know Krishna. For example, Prabhupada's dad, there was an altar and he gave him the same smaller version of deities. We tell them, hey, no, it's all God. No, don't do that. Get toys of Krishna, get toys so that the children will also learn, they will imitate, give them that feel. And when they grow up, yes, they can encourage them to complete devotion service. They can take over the altar, but that will be a pre-rehearsal. So what they say, and someone who's at 90%, this is the aim we should have. If we miss, we should be there. Or at a little lower, you will be entering into a very aristocratic family so that you don't have to run. Typically, I would say we are all in this category where we are comfortable, right? We are not really struggling for the next day meal. Otherwise, we won't be here sitting and listening to Bhagavad Gita. We may not be satisfied. We may tell, hey, I have only 2 bedrooms. You're talking about aristocrat. This person has 4. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling that we are not fighting for the next meal. And if that's our situation, it's very unlikely we'll be sitting in the class. We at least have a laptop or a mobile. That means we are above that, right? 6.43, Hare Krishna.
On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru.
Revival is done by Krishna himself. So if you feel, all of you here, it is just that naturally you want to love Krishna, maybe yes, and it's not just in this birth. It's your previous karma, sukruti, which you have done, which has made you remember Krishna. So it is not just like, okay, I did it, I got it. No, everything comes with a reason, and that reason is because of what you've done. So that's why Krishna has taken you from there. 6.44, Hare Krishna.
By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attached to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures.
Very clearly, by virtue of divine consciousness, right? He automatically, what happens to him, automatically becomes attached. You see this natural attraction. You see, you have so many Matajis and Prabhujis telling stories, getting involved, telling Mataji, we enjoy your session. Why? You have so many things to do. Normally, Prabhujis will be very busy watching TV news, and Matajis will be very busy doing some work or the other, either cooking, even if there is something or the other, right? Matajis are very special. Even if there is no work, we tend to work. That's our specialty. Not a great plus point, but I'm just saying, so that's the thing. But why are we leaving all that and sitting here and talking? Because Krishna Katha is so beautiful. Why? Because we have our Sukriti in the previous birth. 6.45, Hare Krishna.
And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
So when yogi engages, right, sincere endeavor, right, and how all this contamination gets washed, how? By chanting. Again, the solution is chanting. Chanting what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How is that happening? That is what happens. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu composed 8 sloks. Of the first one is Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha. What does it mean? Cheto Darpana Marjanam means cleaning, constantly cleaning the heart, right? Going on and on, continuous cleaning. So what is he doing? So that cleansing, Krishna personally takes the broomstick and cleans. Today, we are so uncomfortable to take the broomstick and clean, except during COVID, when we were scared, right? And we probably touched the broomstick, very rarely. For me, it was rare. I don't even remember last when I took the broomstick, or when I washed the clothes, or when I washed the vessels. Maybe, the altar, 1 or 2 things we've washed, but I'm talking about the regular household work, right? So I can't even have a memory recall of all this. So this is the situation, but Krishna is personally sitting in the pure hearts. No, in all hearts, even impure hearts, and cleaning, right? He's taking the broomstick and cleaning. And after that, once the heart becomes clean, it reaches the supreme abode. Last 5 minutes, last 2 shlokas, last session, the topmost yogis, he's talking about failure. Now he's going to talk about success. Yogis are greater than the empiricists, right? Fruitive workers and aesthetics. So empiricists are jnanis. He's telling yogis are definitely better than that, and fruit workers are karma yogis. They are better than that. Of all the yogis, those who with full faith always think of Krishna, do you see he's bringing bhakti here? And the transcendental loving service to him are the highest. So he says above all is definitely yogi, but above Ashtanga yogi also is the transcendentalist, who is the bhakti yogi. A yogi is greater than what I just read, is what is 4.6.46, 6.47. Hare Krishna. Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatenantar atmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Hare Krishna. Please, Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah. And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinking of me within himself and renders transcendental lasting service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and in the highest of all, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
So beautifully saying, that is my opinion, right? Yukta Tamo, right? You can see the Yukta so many times here. Yogi and Yukta interchangeably used many times. So he says of all those who have faith, and whom is he talking about? Which level is he talking about?
All who have faith is all of us.
So he's talking about all the yogis with great faith. Do we have great faith?
No.
Definitely, Mataji.
So we are all at neophyte stage, and we will read this in 7th chapter. We are going to go there, but currently we are at neophyte stage. Neophyte means beginner. So that means what are we called? It is called the entrance stage, which is called Kanishta Adhikari. He is referring to, the Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari are those who have unfulfilling faith. We all call ourselves having faith, but then today, power goes up. Krishna, current has gone. What, Krishna? We'll start cribbing. And we always tell at one part of life, why me, Krishna? Right? Why me? It could be the smallest thing. It could be our spouse will come and shout at us. Hey, why, Krishna? For me, correctly, we got someone like this. Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Yes,
so
Mataji.
even the smallest thing, right? So that's the situation. So quick revision 1 to 4, we are advancing in yoga through detached work, which is a focus, and then at the initial stage, and 6.5 to 9, it's called the yogarudha stage, which is the advanced stage, and 10 to 32 further stages and the process of practicing yoga. 33 to 36. What is the need to control mind? Very important, and Krishna explains. And 37 to 45, unsuccessful yogi, right? So he will become Suchiman Srimatam. Suchiman means, very rich, Suchi, and Suchi is transcendental, and Srimatam is very rich, Srimati. That's why Lakshmi is called that. And last 2, topmost yogi, where do you go, right? He's telling what he likes, and topmost yogi, where you will go. Hare Krishna. Attendance is marked, Prabhu has told. And with this, we conclude not just the 6th chapter, but we are concluding the Karma Yoga part. And next week, we are going to go into the most important sectors, Bhakti Yoga. Very interesting, because the first 6 chapters are introduction. and it's like the bread, right? The bread in two corners are not great, and the middle part is the sandwich part. When I was little, I always used to think that the sandwich is very nice. Can I eat only that? Right? Kids do ask that, right? So that's exactly what we are going to do, and we will be learning completely that part in the next few chapters to come. Right? So Hare Krishna devotees, with this Vancha kalpa darubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, all of you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
everyone.
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
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 Rama
Everybody,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
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 Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees. So very quickly,
Hare Krishna,
you
Mataji.
can type in, thank you. Any doubts you can type in chat, or you can ask for 5 minutes, and after that we will see Prabhupada's video. Banu, Hare Krishna, Banu Mataji, unmute, you can ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I have a query that after taking these classes and even reading few books on spirituality related, they all say one thing, that you should not demand anything from the God. You should just have a pure devotee. You just pray without asking for anything. But
That's right.
Mataji, but I have a doubt. What if you're stuck in your life? Like, I have a goal which I want to pursue, but I'm not confident enough. I'm not getting the confidence that I can achieve it, or and I've taken help from each and everybody I could. But now the only resources that I can ask God to give me the strength or give me a way forward to help me to achieve that goal. Then is it bad or it is incorrect to demand that from God?
See, a couple of things. One, is it wrong to ask Krishna at the initial stage? It's not wrong, because we are not pure devotees, which is what we saw, right? So it's not wrong, because instead of asking another demigod, you at least are going, like Dhruva. Dhruva also asked for kingdom, right? He asked. It's not that he didn't ask. So one. Second thing is goal. So let me just give a small example, because I don't know the details of your goal. So let's take a 12th standard student, right? The student wants medicine, engineering, right? So let's assume the child wants medicine. I'm just giving an example, right? And or the other, yeah, let's say the child wants medicine and he's trying very hard and he's praying God day and night. He's taking help from everyone. He goes for tuition. He's so desperate, right? Now the point is, putting all the efforts is right? But the decision of I should get only medicine is wrong. That's what he says. Leave the results, because when you want to take control over the result, then it becomes fruitive activity.
But Mataji, like, just taking your example for the example that 12th student wants their medical examination to be cleared or whatever he wants entry, but he is not able to put that efforts or the concentration required in that, and he's struggling with his own mind, which has become his own enemy. So what if in
So you're
that case
talking,
you need
okay,
help from Shri Krishna?
Okay, so for 1 second, so any which case, when you start doing japa itself, your concentration is going to increase. I'm going to answer your question straight. So that is one. Second thing is, if you're talking that you have to take help, is it right or wrong? It's not wrong. Initially, all of us will take help. There is no way any one of us would have gone to a temple even once and not asked anything to Krishna. I don't think it is there. Very rare, maybe. We'll always ask, right? Not Krishna, some demigod, at least we would have taken help, right? So why I'm saying is, instead of that demigod, move your first level to Krishna. So start asking help from Krishna, one. But if you're asking the end point, right, pure devotee, what they say is pure devotees don't care whether they get medicine or engineering. They do their work. For example, Arjuna never cared whether he's going to be successful in the war or not. He just, right? So your efforts should be 100%, and Krishna automatically will help you. Because you don't know whether that's the right thing. What you're saying is right. For putting efforts itself, I'm struggling. Yes, you can pray God, telling that I'm having a struggle, and all of us can pray. Krishna, I'm struggling to even do chanting. Please help me. I'm having so many obstacles. Please help me. I used to have a lot of obstacles when I used to be chanting, and I got everything cleared, because I noticed later, not that situation helped. Yes, situation also helped. Adi Baudika helped. Adi Devika helped. More than that, Adi Atmika changed. My perception of seeing things changed. Because what used to happen is, I used to get up in the morning, and I have this habit of not doing chanting, because my priorities were different. I used to enjoy Bhagavatam. I used to give milk to Krishna. These were my priorities, according to me. So I used to come at 7 o'clock, and I have this concept where when I used to chant, right, and initially, you're very diverted. Today is a different story, but initially you're really diverted. Now also I get diverted. That's a different thing. But I'm just saying everything would be diversion. So we used to have mom in the hall, having TV, and the hall and the kitchen connect. So if I go to the kitchen, also the sound will come. Okay, and my husband used to tell, it's so disturbing, just get out. He used to be in the bathroom. I still can't understand inside the bathroom. I speak loud, but I don't chant loud. What disturbance somebody can have if I chant? So I'm out. So room is out, hall is out. My daughter will be studying, so she never used to object, but I used to feel guilty. There's one soul I should not exploit just because she's my daughter. So I used to step out. And I thought, okay, nice place is terrace. So I used to go to the terrace. And with COVID, they locked the terrace. They said no. There was a stage when I thought I'll do in the bathroom, but we are not elevated. I went, then it was very sultry. We need the fan, at least if not AC. So it was very difficult. And I was literally not able to do one round also initially, because all this was a thing. Then slowly, then my mom said, okay, shall I put off the TV? How long will it take? I said, I'll need an hour. She said, hour? It takes only 5-6 minutes for me. I said, because you do one round. For me, actually 1.5 hours, so I told 1 hour. I do, okay. So that was also gone. But slowly then I realized that, okay, let me change, because Bhagavatam I can read later. Why can't I do this earlier? So that's when I started early, right? So instead of doing any other work, I start doing chanting and try and finish the rounds. So even before class, I try and finish as many rounds as possible, mostly 16. If I can't, at least I try and cover 9, 10. So why I'm telling you is, it's not that things have changed. Things have also changed a bit, right? Not much, but at least a little bit, right? And so what's happening is, Krishna does favor, he does help, right? So many things he does in favor. Sometimes what happens, bad also happens. So we relocated and my TV in the hall broke. So happy. The room TVs are working. I know sooner or later it will come, but nobody in the room wants to give away their TVs to the hall. And that's like, okay, wow, the hall is like all over mine. So I'm just saying, so it's the way you see it. If I keep thinking, oh, TV broke, I've started Krishna conscience, but look, my TV broke, then that's a different point. But at least I felt it like, okay, Krishna, thank you so much. TV broke. So at least it will take few weeks, few months till the TV gets fixed in the hall. And therefore, until then, I have my hall time also. So it becomes all yours. Right. So why I'm saying this, Mataji, I understand you have a goal and you want to achieve the goal, but most of the time we think that goal is the best for me. Right. And all medicine also come as actors. I know a lot of doctors who've been bankers. I know a lot of actors who become even actors, because that particular aim of being a doctor would have been there at 12, maybe because of the voice which you've heard. Someone would have told that, yes, I wanted to do this. Yes, I wanted to do this and all that, but that may not be the right. Hari, stop fighting, please go. Hare Krishna. Sorry. So this is what we are talking about. So why I'm saying this is, you most of the time think the goal which you have selected is the best. Pray Krishna, tell that Krishna, I'm having a challenge, please help me and give me what is best for me. Nothing wrong in that. You can pray telling, because we don't know that's the best, right? What if
that's what exactly the confusion is, Mataji, that everyone is putting the pressure that you're turning this, you have this age, you should have been settled down, you have to focus on your career. You have so much anxiety from there, and you're still figuring out that what actually you want in your life, and you set up a goal to clear a competitive exam. The problem is, you see everyone around below your age or up to your age dedicatedly focusing in that, and you're still not able to focus, having all the resources. And I was feeling guilty that whether should I ask, I am eligible to even ask Krishna to help me out to at least, so that I can have a focus, irrespective of I clear the competitive papers is not, is a different question. That will be.
You can always ask, Mataji. You can always ask. Don't go by what people say. Don't go by what people say. I'm telling you that because the only person who knows you so well is not even you. It's Krishna only. Because you can't even see your mind inside you. You can't even see your eyelashes. Right? Krishna is the only person who can see. Nothing wrong in asking him, telling that, Krishna, I'm going to do this. Can you help? Because there are situations which are beyond your power, and that power only Krishna can help. Right? So nothing wrong in asking, and your asking is very perfect. What you're telling is, I'm going to ask Krishna for power, strength. Yes, you ask. Don't worry about what others say, whether you can do or you can't do. Either ways, you can always ask Krishna to give you strength. What you should not tell is, Krishna, I want this and I want only this. Don't dictate terms to him, because what you're getting may not be the best thing for you. That is what I'm trying to tell.
Jai Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Yes.
This is Shyam Prasad. Mataji. Mataji, this chapter now we have concluded is purely about the yoga.
Yes. Just 1 second. Neetu, if the line gets cut off, battery is running low, you can play Prabhupada's video and I'll go connect again. Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead. Okay.
Mataji, in this, lot of types of yogas has come, like karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga, these are all various paths to reach Krishna, or is it the and my confusion is what is the main yogas like karma yoga, jnana yoga?
Understood, Prabhu. That's why they said these are stages. So these are like the steps, right? You take karma yoga, you do after that jnana yoga, after that you can do ashtanga yoga and go to bhakti. This is one. This is your steps. You also can take an escalator and directly go to bhakti yoga. That is also there. Choice is yours. You can either take the escalator, which I think I will do because I don't have definitely I don't have the jnana to try. Ashtanga yoga, I don't have the patience. Doing chanting itself, I get diverted. So mind though I can't control. Not today ever. Like how she told, I can't concentrate beyond 8 minutes at any point in time. So therefore, my 8 minutes is the longest reading time, whether it was 12th or my MBA or whatever I did. So this was the situation. So for me that Ashtanga yoga, forget it, not possible. Jnana yoga, karma yoga, what Prabhu, very difficult, right? Now only we are starting. So bhakti seems to be easier. So that's like an escalator. So these are yogas where the goal can be Krishna, you will reach, but that's after many birth. But the quickest is bhakti yoga, and that is what Krishna is highlighting completely throughout, right? And Mataji, yes, I will tell Karna's story definitely, and I'm just waiting. Neetu can play Prabhupada's video, and after that, I will be back with Karna's story. Is that fine? Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, if I remember right, I think I already told the story of Vikarna. Did I not tell in this class?
No, Mataji.
Huh?
No, Mataji. Vikarna story is not.
I didn't tell that story. Acha, okay. I will tell today. That's my favorite story. It might be your favorite also. After I tell you, tell me.
Yeah, sure.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
Where decided in the scriptures that Lord Brahma rides on a swan, Hamsa. Is this, we take this to mean that it's a real swan, or is it something symbolic?
Not symbolic, it's fact. Why do you say symbolic? Unusual, what experience you have got? You have no experience. Have you got any experience of other planetary system? What is there? Then your experience is very teeny. So you should not calculate Brahma's life and other things by your teeny experience. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that the duration of life of Brahma, Sahasra Yuga Pajantam Arahajat Brahmano Vidu. Now Brahma's life, it is stated in the Shastra. We have already explained that we accept the authoritative statement of Shastra. Now Brahma's life is stated there. Arahat means his one day is equal to our 4 yugas. 4 yugas means 4,300,000 years, and multiply it by 1,000. Sahasra Yuga Padyantam, Sahasra means 1,000. And Yuga means the 4,300,000 years makes a Yuga. And multiply it by 1,000. That period is Brahma's one day. Similarly, he has got one night. Similarly, he has got 1 month. Similarly, he has got 1 year. And such 100 years he will live. So how you can calculate? How it is within your experience? You'll think something mysterious. No. Your experience is nothing. Therefore, you have to take experience from the perfect person, Krishna. Then your knowledge is perfect. That I have already said. Don't try to understand with your teeny experience everything. Then you will be failure. That I have already explained. That you are coming here, even though you are not initiated, that is also service. So, if you deposit 1 cent daily, one day it may become $100. So when you get the $100, you can get the business. So you come here daily, 1 cent, 1 cent. When it will be $100, you will become a devotee. So this is not wasted. It is, that is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krita punna punya. Krita punna. Krita means done. And Sukadeva Goswami is describing when Krishna was playing with his cowherd boys' friends. So he was describing that these cowherd boys who are playing with Krishna, they have not come to this position in one day. Krita punna punja, after life, having performed pious activities, now they have come to this position, that they are allowed to play with the Supreme. So, Krita punna punja, any pious activity done for the sake of Krishna, that is your permanent asset. It will never be lost. So go on. Increasing the asset, one day it will so help you that you will be able to play with Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness movement.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can you make me the co-host? Mohandas Prabhu, can you make me the co-host?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Prabhu, can you make me the co-host? Yes.
Yeah, made.
Yeah. Just 1 second. Okay. Hare Krishna. Let me tell you the story of Vikarna, because this particular person, I feel, is very less glorified. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita, but we don't glorify him. We don't bother to really notice him. Does anyone know who is Vikarna?
Duryodhana's brother.
Vikarna?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, please.
It's Duryodhana's little brother, younger brother.
So much. Thank you so much, Shubham Patel. I'm so happy you shared this because not many of us even know. Neither did I. Yes, thank you, Shreya Mataji, one of the Kauravas. Yes. So I like to tell a little about him. While he deserves full glorification. So Vikarna, I will just tell one incident. He is one among the Kauravas, but he was very different from the Kauravas. He always believed in, he was also powerful, but obviously he was not as powerful as Duryodhana or Bhima or, and Arjuna. He was very learned and everything was perfect. You know what happened, right, during Draupadi, right, when she was actually brought in the Sabha, and when she asks for justice to everybody, everyone keeps quiet. She looks up to Bhishma, she looks up to Dronacharya. That story I don't want to tell, you all are aware, right? And at that situation, everybody froze. They didn't know what to do. And Draupadi does not know, really she was looking at her husbands and nobody could help, right? And at that stage, there was only one person who spoke for her. one person, that was Vikarna. And he very beautifully brought a point. He said, for a Kshatriya, there are 4 incidences when he can withdraw what he planned. 1, an attack on an enemy. He can decide to drop that anytime. He can withdraw, he can say not required if he is initiated. Second is with a lady. He has gone for a lady, he wants to marry her, or he loves her, or he's at her back, or he's taking custody of a lady, he can give her up. He can tell, okay. Right. Third is when, same way with respect to, if he's going for an attacking an animal, like for instance, they go for, what do you call, vetai, what do you tell in English, for hunting, right? So when you're hunting and halfway through he changes his mind, he doesn't want to kill, he can come back. And the fourth point is when he is in the influence of alcohol, right? He can actually take a call not to proceed on anything, including a game or something. And one of that, right, includes gambling also. When he's not, the word gambling is not used, it's a game, anything like a sport or a game or a war. Now he said that this is there. And in that situation, a Kshatriya does not lose his name or a fame. And it is like, we have this, when there are 2 teams playing and if there is torrential rainfall, what they declare is they call the match as null and void, right? So the status quo remains as it is. So he says this is a situation where a girl is involved, right? Where Kshatriyas are involved, Kshatriyas are drunk. This is also coming into, it's like a war or a gambling, it's a game. So he said all 4 reasons are there to make this null and void. Let's call off this with no disrespect to anyone. Let the Pandavas proceed there and let the Kauravas proceed here. This is a very valid point in Shastras. This is what he brought up. He only brought up. The moment he brought up, there was smile in everybody's face. Dronacharya, Bhishma, they were so proud and happy, right? So does this make you good? Yes or no? Do you feel good?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes. So, imagine how Draupadi would have felt, right? She felt there was 1%. And he said, and after that he said, this is a valid reason. Besides the fact we cannot insult her because she is a sister-in-law and which is equal to mother, because a sister-in-law is equal to mother. And in this Sabha, but even assuming that all these rules you people are not going to follow, these 4 rules prevail. And with that, we will call off this right now and we can part ways with no insult to anyone. And everybody agreed. And at that time, Karna, because he was more knowledgeable, right? So he got up and he said, yes, all what you said is true, but that is applicable for whatever you're saying is not with respect to prostitute. It is applicable only with respect to a lady, right? Who can be a daughter of a prince or, of a king, or he could be a princess or a wife, or it could be even a normal Sudra lady, okay, who's chaste. And everybody are looking at him. He said, yes, what do you call a lady who has got more than one husband? And whatever he told, he knocked it off with that one word. Even though everybody in the Sabha knew that the most chaste lady is Draupadi and she's listed as one of the chaste women, but he brought this up and he countered. Had he kept quiet, even Duryodhana did not know to counter it because he was speaking from Shastras. So anything valid from Shastras cannot be countered, right? And this counter was given only by Karna. Fine, see, truth should be spoken, but there is also something called, a dharma, and which is a superior dharma. A Brahmana is supposed to speak the truth, but there's a situation, right? A Brahmana comes and a guy and a cow comes and hides in his protection. He has to protect the cow, fine, but he has to speak the truth, but becomes higher because Brahmana's protection for cows is not his rule. Kshatriya and Vaishya's protection becomes more important. Speaking the truth is more important for a Brahmana, and there is a butcher coming now with a knife. What should the Brahmana do? Should he take the role? Should he protect the cow by telling a lie? He's not taking anybody's role, but can he lie or should he stay in his dharma? What should be the right thing?
He can lie.
Yes. So when there is a superior thing, and it happens for everyone, a sannyasi is not supposed to touch a lady, right? If the lady in the next door is getting burnt and there's no way she can come, obviously she's painting in the middle of the road, you will say, a lorry is coming, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to touch. No, right? Exceptions do break, right? So why am I saying is these are very important rules which we have to follow, and this is so beautiful. Karna could have kept quiet, right? So why am I saying this is where's people who are better, much better? He fought, Vikarma also fought, and Bhishma told, I can't kill you. You are one person whom I can never even dream of killing. You're so good. He said, no, you should. You know why? Because he said, I spoke that day was my duty and I fought. I failed. Today I'm fighting because I have to fight for my brother. Both the times I'm failing because that's also adharma for me. Now, the best thing that can happen to me and dharma for you is you killing me and I getting killed by you. That will be the biggest blessing and benediction you can give me. Bhima, go ahead and kill me. This is what he says, right? And this character is not highlighted anywhere. Yes, there is one stanza in Bhagavad Gita which says Vikarma. It brings up, and you're going to find that stanza for me. But it comes as just one word, and you're going to tell me that next week. But this is the quality of Vikarma. Why am I telling this? Is one, to highlight Vikarma, and also to bring back to Karna. Karna may be very good as in charity, right? There is also one devotee who brought up that Duryodhana is very good because in one aspect that he would do Kanyadan to every person in the kingdom. Yes, it's a great quality, but does that make him a great person that he has the right to strip somebody naked? No, right? Same way, Karna is a great person, great charity, everything is perfect about him, but he is siding adharma. The moment he is siding adharma, if he had brought Duryodhana into dharma, then it's fine. But he went in line with Duryodhana and did adharma. That's point one. And second thing is, Karna was also in his previous story, right? Narayana, he was a asura. Right? He's called, I'm going to ask you the name now again. What is the name of Karna in the previous birth? If you don't know, you're going to find that for me. Yeah, that's nice. The first chapter, right? But which shloka, if you can share. So now, thank you so much anyway, Shreya. Hare Krishna, it's sweet. So now what is happening, this Karna, right, had 1,000 heads, 1,000 not heads, what do you call it, kunda, kavasam. And the Narayana had a benediction that one will go into meditation and another one will go fight. He will remove one kavasa and he will completely lose his energy. He will go into meditation. The other one comes. So like that, they remove 999 kavasha and the last kavasha was left, and then he runs and hides behind Surya. And Kunti, when she prays, that Surya kid is only Karna, and he comes into Kunti's womb. So Karna itself is in the previous birth is Asura. But he was not born with Asura qualities. He was very devotional. But having said that, he actually was siding adharma. And third thing is, Krishna was friendly with him. He was friendly and paying respect. He was not a friend. So the most confidential things in your life, whom do you share with? Do you share with the best person? And Yudhishthira, yes, Yudhishthira is definitely a great person, but coming back, the age is different and the friends. So now coming back, whom do you share your best confidential things with the life? The best person in your life or the closest person in your life?
Closest.
Right? Somebody could be better than the closest person, right?
We feel free with them.
Comfort, yes. Same, Mataji. So Krishna also is a person. He also wants to choose somebody whom he is comfortable with. Right? He is not going to waste his energy with Karna, right? And Yudhishthira, yes, but he is more comfortable. He likes Arjuna, right? And therefore, Arjuna is definitely very dedicated. And that's the point which I thought I'll bring. I hope I could convince that, of course, I can't convince because it's Krishna's choice, but I am trying to give you a lot of points which can make you feel comfortable as to why Krishna's choice is also perfect. Hare Krishna.
I was convinced that Arjuna is the perfect choice, but my doubt was why not Karna? I mean,
I just answered.
Yeah,
I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Because the Karna's picture also, we have only one story, and whatever we've understood about Karna is highlight of Karna in movies or dramas, right? So where Karna is the superhero and he's highlighted. So the disadvantage for us most of the time is we are projected as if Karna is the superhero and others around him he's in such a sad state and things are bad. Yes, so what? Not every one of us are in the same position. You are richer than me. I am poorer than you. You may be more beautiful than me. You may be more qualified. So I can't be comparing myself with every person and feel bad, right? There were certain rules to be followed and it is done with a particular purpose. There are many people who concoct that. That's a different issue. Live with what is there rather than to fight. Good to fight, but then you don't have to fight and see. And every time Arjuna proved his power. Every time Arjuna proved his power, because during Draupadi's time, not only that, initially itself, right? There was a situation when Karna, everybody went to Drupada and take control over the situation. They could not. And then Arjuna only went and took over Drupada first time. Second time, there was a situation when they were in Vanavas, right? And that time, everyone, when Duryodhana went and was defeated, he was handcuffed by a tribal group. And that time, Karna was also there. So he could not do anything. Arjuna only went and saved, Arjuna and Bhishma. So equal to C, then A equal to C, right? So that way, Arjuna has showed his mind that he is more powerful. Thank you so much, Rupali. Hare, Rupali Rana, you're here. Hare Krishna, so nice. He's called correct. Can you see the chat? He's called Sastra Bahu, and he is, Sastra means 1,000, and he had 1,000 kavasas. So that's why he was called, and he was an Asura. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So I hope everybody is clear. Is there any other doubts? Else we can end the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. And
Krishna,
if you are having Bhakti Vriksha, I'll also soon meet the Bhakti Vriksha leaders. I'll try and come to the class. And please do reading, and that will only take you to the next level. And next week, please read the 7th chapter and come, because it's very interesting and also a little technical. That's why. Yeah. Hare Krishna, everybody. And I'll end the meeting. I can't end. Mohan Das Prabhu has to end. He's the host. Hare Krishna. People loud Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.